Afternoon everybody, welcome back to the channel, Fishing AT, and I'm fishing at Chesil Beach again. Parked down at Ferrybridge, down at the car park there, and I've walked a little bit further than I normally do. I normally walk about a kilometre fishing from the Berg Sanctuary, but today I've walked an extra 500 metres or so, so about 1.5 kilometres up towards Sedbury and fishing there. So just for a change, just to see if an area maybe where less anglers fish is a little bit less pressured, so hopefully the fishing may be a little bit better. Having said that, about 10 people have just walked over the back of the Pebbles and have started swimming about 100 yards up for me, so that'll make a bit of noise and a bit of disturbance, but anyway, hopefully they won't be there too long. It's 1 o'clock on Tuesday, August the 30th. Low tide is about 2:30 and high tide is about 9:30. Quite a big tide, big spring tide, so I'm going to fish the tide up to high into darkness and then possibly fish maybe a couple of hours and then see how we go. I'm not going to fish through the night, need to be back at home for some stuff tomorrow. You can possibly hear it, there's a very strong easterly northeasterly wind blowing right over the top of me. The sea is flat calm, it's about 22 degrees C, the sun is out, so conditions not particularly brilliant, but hopefully we might be able to pull something out. I see from sort of fish reports there's been quite a lot of triggerfish, red mullet, bream, the usual suspects coming out, so a couple of fish there, triggerfish and red mullet, not really caught before, so fingers crossed, might break my duck on those, but we'll see how we go. Just good to be out. Back again soon. So bait wise today, usual stuff, frozen bluey, frozen squid, frozen mackerel, picked up some frozen black lug this morning from Oliver's Angling in Clevedon. So that's really the baits that I have. Couldn't get any fresh rag or lug this morning, so we'll see how we go. And rigs are pretty much 2-hook flappers, size 4 or size 2s, or a size 4 or size 2 pulley pennel at the moment. Trying to target to see if I can pick up a bream or something like that. So that's the baits, and I'm using pop-ups on some of the rigs. The first bait came back okay after being out in the water for 30 minutes or so, so that was with pop-ups. So put one out now without pop-ups and we'll see how that goes, whether there's any spider crabs around. Well, I've been fishing for 3.5 hours, a lot of casting, and I've just had my first bite on the left-hand rod. So a lot of rigs in and out of the water, lots of bait combinations, rig combinations, and yeah, first bite as such. We'll have to see how that one how that develops. Looked a good sort of bream type bite, quite hard rattle, so that's a good sign. So the tide has obviously turned. The wind has actually changed a little bit as well. It looks coming a bit now more sort of almost southerly, northerly, sorry, yeah, coming up from the south, yeah, so that's making the surf a little bit sort of more prevalent. And I'm just wondering, with it being a bigger tide, you can see the where the tide was at high tide this morning, whether or not I'm in a safe position at high water. So we'll have to gauge that, whether I have to move my bivvy back a bit, because there's quite a swell pushing in. Anyway, let's see how this bite develops and we'll come back to you if there's anything. Well, I'm just bringing in that cast that I had the bites on. That feels quite heavy. I didn't see any more bites, I just wanted to change the baits. See what it is. It's very dead weight. It's a 2-hook flapper rig. What have we got here? Looks like a cod. Well, I never. Hopefully you can see that. He's quite a lean one. He's got something wrong with him on his back. Let's just get him unhooked and we'll put him back, I think. Well, there you go. It's beating the blank anyway. Obviously seen reports that cod have been on the Chesil Beach. Obviously haven't had any on my trips, but we'll put this one back. Hopefully he goes. Come on, fella. He's just lying in on the top there. He looked pretty bashed up. He had some sort of growthy type thing on his back. Bit of mess on the side of his cheek. He's trying. So fishing 3 rods today, as it was so quiet earlier on. Tried to get as much bait in the water as I could. This is a Penn Rampage with a Ambassador 6500, and I've typically been fishing 3-hook flappers on this rig, on this rod. Don't cast it out very far. Baits I've got, I say bluey, squid, and some black lug, frozen black lug. It's on a plain lead, not a lot of tie pull, so I'll just let that one roll around, see what happens. Well, it's for Tuesday. There's a lot of people fishing down towards the Portland end there. Nobody fishing above or beyond me, so at the moment my decision to walk that extra bit hasn't really paid off, but we'll see. So that was a 2-hook clipped rig. After that massive bird's nest I had on my last video on this reel, I've obviously replaced all the line, couldn't recover it, and I've gone down to £20, so see if that's 0.4mm. Doesn't seem to be giving me much more distance, but anyway, we'll see how we go. The sun is still very hot. You can see the swell pushing in. Somebody's left 2 deck chairs and a bivvy on the beach further down, so I'm not sure, is that littering or I don't know, but really weird that you would just leave stuff like that on the beach. You've walked a long way, I'm assuming, with it, and you've just decided to just leave it there, which amongst all the other rubbish on the beach today was maybe I'm not going to be carrying that home because obviously I got a lot of kit, but I've got a bag full of rubbish already. So I'm not sure why would people do that. It's beyond me. Well, if we ever need reminding about what takes our bait down at Chesil, here we are, the spider crab. He knows where the sea is. With very small front claw pincers. Been feasting on my bait. We'll put him back. There we go. Whew. That was a very heavy wind in. There was a spider crab, massive weed, lots of weed coming in now. You can see it there. No real activity as such. It's 6:45 and well, it's a amphibious creature of sorts, not a fish, but anyway, they're still around, they're still stealing baits. So that was on a 3/8 flapper, no pop-ups on there, and generally the popped up baits are coming back pretty much untouched really. The ones that have no pop-ups or just you know, straight ledger are generally coming back stripped. Well, it's 20 to 8. High tide is still 2 hours away. It's calmed down a lot, the wind has dropped right off. So it's a lovely evening, beautiful sunset, but the fishing remains very, very quiet. No bites. Obviously spider crabs are active, so having to pop up the baits off the floor. Because the baits are getting stripped if they're not otherwise. But still, it's a lovely end of the day. So had a few more goes spinning for mackerel, but nothing other than that foul hook garfish. So yeah, very quiet. Tide is pulling quite hard now towards Portland as it comes in. Obviously I'm using 170 grams of lead, so casting up tide slightly where I can, but weed is the big problem. You can probably see loads of it here that I've been pulling off every cast. A lot of green, brown slimy stuff, catching leader knots and traces and stuff. So that's the main issue with the spiders as well. Anyway, still got a few hours to go. We'll see how we go. Well, winding in, didn't see the bite. In amongst the weed was this tiny, I think it's a bream, little black bream, I think. Tiny, absolutely tiny. There's me thumb. You can see it. But anyway, a third species from today. Let's get him back in. Hopefully live to fight another day. Well, it's just gone 9 o'clock and there's plenty of bites now. I've had another bream, small bream, and then these tiny congers now. You can see tiny little bootlace conger. Plenty of bites now. The darkness has happened, so hopefully well, that's another species. I've caught 2 bream, a conger, a garfish and a cod and a spider crab. So a few species today. Perhaps not the session I thought it was going to be, but anyway, we'll keep going. Well, it's been pretty quiet since I last spoke to you. Bites dried up. As the tide was going out, just the occasional knock. Still bait's being stripped by the crabs, and still the weed. So I've knocked it on the head about 10:30, so it's about an hour after high water, and very quiet. So been an interesting day. A variety of species, a cod, garfish, a couple of bream, small conger, and obviously managed to land one of the spider crabs that was stealing the bait. But still, it's always a lovely day down Chesil. So thanks for watching. Sorry I couldn't catch more for you, but that's how it goes. Sometime you've got to be here to see how it goes and try and catch. You can only get what's in front of you, I suppose, as the old saying goes. But anyway, hopefully better luck next time, and I'll see you again soon. Take care everyone, bye.